Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope all of you are doing well. So in this video, I will be discussing about Ted Hughes' poem Hawk Roosting. So let's start. So who was Ted Hughes? Ted Hughes was born in 1930s and died in 1998. He is one of the poets who is sensitive in the whole society of poets. The post-war age of which he was a product was marked by faithlessness, despair, anguish of nothingness, and aimlessness. Ted Hughes' poetry highlights modern man's fragmented and isolated nature and his alienation from the natural world. Hughes is of the opinion that due to the presence of cultural crisis, man has lost his relation with nature. Hughes' major poetic work is based on nature and myths. His obsession remains on animals, their energies, and the darker aspects. He thinks that modern men become the slave of technology that results in alienation to natural world. In his poems, animals act as a metaphor for his view of life. His father, William Harry Hughes, used to be a carpenter who had seen in person the cruelty of war in World War I. He was greatly influenced by his father's experience. Most of his poetry is considered as violent. So let's move towards the poem Hawk Roasting. So hawk roasting, as the title suggests, that it is about hawk. It is an illustration of people and who is basically arrogant or who has some kind of it is basically, we can say that it is a kind of arrogant bird. It is basically illustrated with the people who basically wants to kill other people and who are power hungry and who are arrogant kind of nature, who are having an arrogant kind of nature. So this poem consists of 6 stanzas with 24 lines and total, while 4 lines of each stanzas. So it is a kind of internal monologue. Hawks thinking and talking to himself. Hawks has ruthless behavior, a bird of prey, and being at the top of food chain, he is being arrogant. So let's start with explanation of stanza number 1. In the first stanza, the hawk seems to be deep in meditation. He does not feel threatened by anything in the wild, and therefore he can easily choose to close his eyes and not worrying about surroundings. In this stanza, poet tells us about the setting of where hawk is sitting. He is sitting at the top of woods. He does not really want to dream because his dreams are his realities. Its head and feet are hooked and his feet are firmly fixed on the bark. So Ted Hughes had used feet instead of claws, which creates an image in the reader's mind about the connection between the hawk and human. The expression perfect kill in the line 4 refers to the impression that hawk thinks itself being superior and arrogant, that he is able to perform perfect kill and that eats its prey as well even in sleep. So it represents that hawk is arrogant, being at the top of food chain. So let's move towards the second stanza. So in this stanza, poet shows the importance of surrounding, how surrounding influenced him, that he uses the advantage of high trees so he can see everything beneath him. The air helps the hawk to float over the woods, and within the rays of sun, it can easily spot his prey on the ground. It seems that everything in nature has made for the sake of his pleasure and ease. He claims that all of these aspects of nature make his life more convenient. Hughes also creates a parallel between up and down. All is above the hawk, the earth sits below him so that he can inspect it from his perch. It seems to hawk that the earth is subservient to the hawk and he is more important in the nature than the earth itself. So let's move towards the third stanza's explanation. So in this stanza, his feet firmly placed upon the rough bark. It think God. So the word creation has been used with a capital C, which is synonym with God. So basically he thinks that God took a lot of time and energy to create someone magnificent like God, as if someone magnificent like hawk, as if he were the crown of creator. or creation. He proudly gazes at his feet, and then he looks at his each and beautiful feather. Finally, the hawk thinks himself to be all powerful of all creation of God, who can, as the line in the poem, now I can hold creation in my foot. Then he claims that now he can hold the whole creation in his feet, because when he flies, the earth below him becomes small and everything within his reach. So it represents modern man pride. So let's move towards the fourth stanza. In this stanza, he claims that when it flies in the sky seems to rotate itself slowly around the hawk. Now everything in the universe is under the hawk's feet. When the hawk flies, everything is in hawk's control, so it kills wherever and whatever he wants, because he thinks that world belong to me. There is no need to lie or pretend otherwise, because the hawk can prove his power by tearing off the heads of his victim, which also represents that power hungry dictators who are power hungry like Hitler. So let's move towards the fifth stanza. In this stanza, the hawk is so godlike in that he says he chooses who live and who dies. Allotment of death phrase also represents that death to people, and he allot death to people and animal show power of humans. The one flight he makes is the one he takes to kill his prey, because he flies straight to prey without having any chance to miss. It does not need to justify his ways of killing. The hawk does not want to give any justification of its action, because he is all powerful. So let's move towards the last stanza. In this stanza, Hawk said that world is not changed since his birth, because he did not allow this world to change. When the hawk attacked its prey swiftly, the sun is behind him. The hawk has been doing it for a long time. Its eyesight has been the same, very vigilant, and he will always keep doing the things in the same dominant and controlled manner. So, if we talk about the themes of this poem, there is a theme of violence and cruelty. Cruelty in a sense that cruel nature of hawk, and violence in this way that violence in society in which hawks live. The second theme is arrogance and pride. The third theme is power and superiority. Power and superiority is about the modern man's hunger and modern man's pride. While the fourth theme is nature and savagery. Nature represents savage nature of modern man's destroy natural innocent world, while savagery is about evilness. And the last theme is the theme of animal. So that's all from my side. If you have any queries, you can ask me in the comment section. Please like, subscribe and share my channel. Thank you for watching.